Good afternoon, folks. Today I've come to bring you another wonderful message. Today I'm going to talk about being human. And what I'm going to talk about is actually in Luke 22. That's Luke 22 verses 41 through 44. And what this talks about is, Jesus Christ and how he had went, he's human. He goes through emotions just like the rest of us. Even though he is God, and he was still able to do all these wonderful miracles. He literally raised a man from the dead. He healed a man to be able to see. He healed a crippled man to be able to walk. There's just, the list goes on and on of all the wonderful miracles that he was able to do. But when it came to the days leading up to his crucifixion, there was a lot of worry, a lot of stress on him. So he had went into the Mount of Olives and he had prayed to the Father, while the other disciples was, told to, pray along with him, and not that way they wouldn't be, into temptation. Excuse me. But he had went to the Mount of Olives and he had prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, about, please, Father, if you could remove this cup from me, but not my will, but your will be done. But he prayed about this over and over and over, because he was anxious, he was worried, he was stressed so much about, the brutal death that he was going to have to face, that that's where he was showing his human side. And then he worried and stressed about it so much that he began to sweat blood, that he, was just so, the anxiety and the stress was just so overwhelming and everything. But still, even though he went through all that, that was to show his human side, that he still also dealt with the stress. And he also had, good times. He had, times of joy and laughter, sadness. He wept, he cried, because of loss of a loved one or a friend. But that just goes to show you that, even that Jesus being able to do all these wonderful miracles and everything, and had that godliness about him, he was still human. He was still human while he was here on earth. And then, like I said, just the anxiety and everything, just overwhelmingness of the crucifixion that he knew that he was going to go through. But he continued with that because, it was his Father's will, and he wasn't going to, skip all that, because he loved us